Dante's Divine Comedy, Paradiso, Canto VII. Beatrice explains that just vengeance was exacted for the fall through the crucifixion, but that even though Christ's human nature was justly punished, his divinity had been wronged. Dante begins to understand that God wished to accomplish the redemption of mankind through the gift of his only Son. Do thou listen, for these words of mine, of a great doctrine will I make a present make thee. By not enduring on the power that wills, curb for his good, that man who ne'er was born, damning himself, damned all his progeny. Whereby the human species down below lay sick for many centuries in great error, till to descend it pleased the word of God. To where the nature, which from its own maker estranged itself, he joined to him in person by the sole act of eternal love. Now unto what is said direct thy sight. This nature, when united to its maker, such as created, was sincere and good. But by itself alone was banished forth from paradise, because it turned aside out of the way of truth and of its life. Therefore the penalty of the cross held out. If measured by the nature thus assumed, none ever yet with so great justice stung, and none was ever of so great injustice, considering who the person was that suffered, within whom such a nature was contracted. From one act therefore issued things diverse. To God and to the Jews one death was pleasing. Earth trembled at it, and heaven opened. It should no longer seem difficult to thee, when it was said that a just vengeance by a just court was afterward avenged. But now do I behold thy mind entangled from thought to thought within a knot, from which with great desire it waits to free itself. Thou sayest, well discern I what I hear, but it is hidden from me why God willed for our redemption only this one mode. Buried remaineth, brother, this decree unto the eyes of every one whose nature is in the flame of love not yet adult. Verily, inasmuch as this mark one gazes long and little is discerned, wherefore this mode was worthiest, will I say. Goodness divine, which from itself doth spurn all envy, burning in itself so sparkles, the eternal beauties unfold. Whate'er from this immediately distills has afterwards no end, for ne'er removed is its impression when it sets its seal. Whate'er from this immediately rains down is wholly free, because it is not subject unto the influences of novel things. The more conformed thereto, the more it pleases. For the blessed ardor that irradiates all things and that most like itself is most vivacious. 'Tis sin alone which doth disenfranchise man, and render him unlike the good supreme. Your nature, when it is sinned so utterly, could not itself recover, except by passing of one of these two fords, either that God through clemency alone has pardon granted, or that man himself has satisfaction for his folly made. Fix now thine eye deep into the abyss of the eternal counsel to my speech as far as may be fastened steadfastly. Man in his limitations had not power to satisfy, not having power to sink in his humility, obeying then, far as he disobeying thought to rise, and for this reason man has been from power of satisfying by himself excluded. Therefore it God behoved in his own ways man to restore unto his perfect life. I say in one, or else in both of them, but since the action of the doer is that so much more grateful, as it more presents the goodness of the heart from which it issues. Goodness divine, that doth imprint on the world, has been contended to proceed by each, and all its ways to lift you up again. For God more bounteous was himself to give, to make man able to lift himself up, than if he only of himself had pardoned, and all the other modes were insufficient for justice, were it not the Son of God himself had humbled to become incarnate.